Hello and welcome to December 1st. You're watching the Single Malt Review. I'm Dave, this is Tim, and here we are with our Secret Spirits Whisky Advent Calendar. We're about to get stuck in on our first mystery dram.
It is going to be good. Thank you again for Secret Spirits for providing this one this year, taking us along on the mysterious adventure within. We'll go over the rules one more time because we're going to play a little bit of a tasting game with this one. We are going to, whoever's in the tasting hot seat, and we're going to start with Dave this year, is going to don the hat of mystery so that they can gain nothing but smell and taste from the whisky, and they are going to have a 2-minute long power taste session. There shall be no coaching, no hints from the offsider. We have to be very disciplined because we will know, but you and the tastee will not. And they will have 2 minutes to determine 3 things about the whisky for a maximum of 3 points. The first will be the nature of the spirit. Is it a single malt? Is it a single grain? Is it a blend? Is it something from another planet? Who knows? Is it Coca-Cola? That's the first one we have to figure out because that tells you a great deal about what's in the glass. Secondarily, we're going to try and guess the region. Is it Speyside, Highlands? Is there a difference? No, we're going to try and guess it anyway. And for the third and most elusive point, we are going to try and guess the actual distillery itself or the actual name of the blend if we believe it is a blend.
So what is it? Where is it from? Whose is it? What, where and who? Simple 3-point test.
Them's the rules. All right, crank on the hat, Dave. I will see if I can wrestle out number one. I'll just... pushing it in might be a bit easier.
Now, these are full 50ml miniatures and most likely all cask strength, so we'll probably be saving a little bit so we can revisit these after the 25 days of this calendar. We can look back at any favourites, have another quick
Going to have to stand up for this one. The box. Not relinquishing its treasure easily.
And while I can't see it right now, I do know it is an excellent and very thoroughly, firmly packed package there, so these bottles will not come out lightly.
It's coming. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is.
Well, this whisky has gone from Scotland to Canada and then over to us in New Zealand, so
goodness, that was
packed to travel.
That was exactly as hard as it looked. Okay, so I am viewing the whisky. I'm double checking it was door number 1, yes? Okay, so I will now place it in the tankard of obfuscation after I pour it so that there will be no chance of any information getting out. So I'll pour yours here, Dave.
The only senses I'm getting now is that I can hear the pour, which is... I won't even pretend that can tell me anything of use.
For you there, and I'll have one of my own. So just verify your tasting detective work.
Did you want to start the clock?
One moment. Right. And the clock starts... Let's say the clock starts now.
Okay.
Initial thoughts.
That is quite a heady aroma, as you'd expect from something fairly strong. I'm going to guess, based on just the strength, amount of alcohol I'm getting, probably, I'm thinking, around 12 years old.
What do we think about the...
There are some very interesting notes in there. I'm getting a rich, almost pineapple-y scent. There's something strong and sharp and syrupy.
It is definitely fruity. What do we think about the strength of the whisky?
I guess it's not super strong. This is not a brand new whiskey, but it's not extremely mellowed by many decades of aging either. So I'm going to guess. I'll take a quick sip. Oh, that's very familiar. But first off, I'm guessing around the 50% mark. Possibly a little higher.
There's water here.
I'm tempted to add water, but I'd like to be able to teaspoon the water just as delicately as possible. So I'll hold off on water till I've had a closer look. And this is very familiar, but I'm trying to pin it down. We've tried, after all, so many different drams. But I'll take another sip.
Goodness, it's a very rich dram. I can say that much. That's not a hint there. You could tell that from across the room.
No. This is reminding me so strongly of a couple of whiskies I've had in the past. So I was
30
trying to pin
seconds.
down exactly which one. I'm going to guess, going on a limb here, I'm going to guess a 14-year-old Aaron.
14-year-old Aaron. Okay, and that I guess that locks in region and style of whiskey all in one go. And you only used 1:52, so you had some to spare there. Well, please remove the hat.
Oh. And restore my ability to see.
Mm-hmm. Final thoughts before all is revealed?
Yeah,
Confidence factor.
Not great, because I went
great.
very specific
Right.
based on just some essentially
Oh, well, that was a bold choice. You did it,
Yeah.
in fact, back to front with the hardest one
completely,
first,
yeah.
locked in everything else. Right, what have we got?
Hey.
It's Auchentoshan.
Oh, right.
Starting
That's
us
a-
off with,
yes.
I think, a hard one, because this is not typical Auchentoshan.
No.
This is a cask strength 17-year-old Auchentoshan, of course, a lowland whiskey.
A 2001 distillation.
And what is the strength on that one?
It is... Ooh. One moment. 54.4. So oddly, the thing I was closest on was the ABV.
You weren't far off in terms of age either.
Yeah.
14, 17, not too much distance between
Yes,
that.
a lowland spirit. We've tried a couple of Auchentoshans, I believe, on the show, or possibly off the show, and that could be where I was getting... That's odd. I'd say... Oh, I should mention... this will be why there's so much familiarity there. A first fill Oloroso sherry cask, so it's a really active, really bold and vibrant wood choice.
And that right there is what made this one so difficult. I knew as soon as I saw it that I was A, glad I didn't get it, and B, was really interested to see what you went for the pick, because this is the first time I've even laid eyes on a first fill sherry from Auchentoshan. It is a super bourbon dominant in terms of its style whiskey, and it's very, very rare to see not just a first fill sherry, but a single cask of it too, so nothing but that first fill. And it really, really transforms it into something quite different to what Auchentoshan normally is. That's a lowland whiskey, as I said, so you'd be looking for it's triple distilled as well, so in the Irish kind of a style. It's a very, very mellow, very, very light-bodied, often very spirit-driven dram that gets typically a minimal amount of wood aging, really. It's spends a lot of time in second, third fill bourbon, very, very light, very, very mellow, and this is very atypical.
Yeah.
If I was tasting this blind, I would be thinking Glenfarclas, actually.
Interesting. I wouldn't have gone for Glenfarclas because of how sweet and acid some of those fruit flavours are, but at the same time, this is, despite being quite a strong and very punchy fruit-forward flavour, it's very drinkable at that full 54%. I've added water just to, for sake of getting a full tasting of it, but it is as good and as drinkable both ways. In fact, if I was doing a full review on this, the scores would be very high, and I can say just on this sample, this is probably the best lowland whiskey I've ever tried. It is really something. It's not typical of the style of the region.
Because you are a lover of sherry matured whiskey, and that's a very telling thing, because this is, I wouldn't say it is the best lowland whiskey I've ever tried, but it is the most sherry matured lowland whiskey I've ever tried, which puts it very, very out of style with its peers in the lowland, which of course are very few and far between. I suppose,
it's actually bordering on a liqueur. It is so sweet. It is full of crystallized ginger and pineapple juice richness.
It really is fruity as all heck. The water really only makes that, well, it's not a bad situation, so it doesn't make it worse, but it certainly intensifies that sort of fresh, fruity quality, and a bit of waxiness comes through as well.
Yeah, there's a little welcome hint of some grassiness and some beeswax.
Yeah, there's a bit of beeswax, a bit of candle wax even, a bit of paraffin note coming through once that addition of water has been made.
That is
really pretty interesting.
Remarkable dram.
And what a one to start with, what a curly one.
Yeah.
It could not be a weirder lowland. Old, sherry matured, almost cheating, giving us this one.
This does make me worry, but this whole 25 excellent days of excellent whiskey is going to turn into me guessing, well, it tastes familiar, but I can't quite pin it down.
we knew what we were getting into. So
Yes.
this is we only got ourselves to blame.
Going
as
to be
they
the
say.
Deanna Troy of whiskey tasting. I can sense something, but I'm not sure what.
Yes, indeed. Right. Well, we will move quickly along to tomorrow's Dram, number 2, and so we will see you in roughly 24 hours, assuming I'm doing my job correctly. This has been the Single Malt Review. Slanjo, we'll see you very, very soon.